Hello, welcome once again to STUFFandTHINGS, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today we're going to do something a little bit different on our midweek video here. I was roaming around the internet and I came across some quizzes, and these are supposed to be able to tell you where you are from based on your regional dialect, and this is for American dialect. Let me resize myself a little bit here. Okay, so I came across 3 different quizzes, and they're all supposed to be able to tell you where you're from based on a series of questions. For a little bit of background on me, I mostly grew up in the Pacific Northwest. My parents are both from the Pacific Northwest, but when I was about a year old or maybe a little younger than that, we moved to Oklahoma, and I pretty much learned to talk in Oklahoma. So I had sort of a weird Southwest accent, even though my parents were speaking to me in the home and they had a Pacific Northwest kind of accent. Anyway, that might throw the thing off a little bit, I'm not sure. But for the most part, I've spent my life in the Pacific Northwest and on the West Coast, like Los Angeles, places like that. So for the most part, I think that that's where my accent should place me. Also, from what I've read, the Pacific Northwest is supposed to have the least inflected native English-speaking accent in the world. So I don't know. It may be that it's just kind of generic and it's going to be hard to put me in a different place or a specific place in the U.S. There are some very distinctive regional dialects in the U.S., but the Pacific Northwest isn't really that distinctive. Anyway, we have several quizzes. We have one from PureWow. We have one from Babbel magazine. And then we have one from the New York Times. So I think we're going to start with this PureWow one first. It says, "What's your regional dialect? Hey, you guys." Translation. Hey, y'all. You all, yins or yous. Yep, there are plenty of totally acceptable ways to say the same thing in this country. And based on how you say them, we can probably guess where you're from. Take our quiz to see if we're right. All right, let's just jump into it. Question number 1. What do you call the shoes you wear to work out? Sneakers, gym shoes, tennis shoes, or running shoes? As a kid, I probably would have said tennis shoes, and I don't know if I should answer the way I would now or as I grew up, but I think I'll just say tennis shoes. Did that count my answer? Okay. How do you pronounce syrup? I sort of said syrup. Syrup. Syrup or syrup? How do I pronounce that normally? Maple syrup. I think I say syrup. Okay, what do you call a delicious carbonated beverage? Okay, I grew up saying pop. That was definitely what I used to say. And then when I lived in LA for a while, I started saying soda. And now I'm kind of halfway between soda and pop. But let's bring pop back. Pop is good. And that thing that spurts out water for you to drink. A drinking fountain, a bubbler. I think that's like an East Coast thing maybe. And a water fountain. I would say a drinking fountain. When you order in food, it's called takeout or carryout. Order in food. I'd call that delivery because I'm not taking it out. They're taking it out. But I guess takeout. You buy these dried usually at Trader Joe's and you call them apricots or apricots. I say apricots. Do I? Apricots. Apricot. I would like an apricot. Oh wow, this is hard for me to determine. I like pears, I like peaches, and I like apricots. I like apricots? I think I say apricots. You can't arrest me. I'm calling my lawyer or lawyer. I say lawyer. Something you might have heard on the road growing up. That big rig on the freeway is blocking traffic. There's an 18-wheeler parked near the beer barn. That semi is causing Gaper's block? Gaper's block? That truck accident is causing some rubbernecking. Okay, well, this is a problem because I wouldn't say necessarily big rig, but I would say freeway. I wouldn't really say 18-wheeler and, the beer barn. I don't know what that is. I would normally say semi, but I would never say Gaper's block on the highway. I would say freeway and semi. So this is kind of a problem here. And rubbernecking, I mean, I know what that means, but I don't typically say that. I've never heard Gaper's block. So I guess I'm going to have to say big rig on the freeway, even though I would normally say semi. And those circle road things are roundabouts, not rotaries or traffic circles. They are roundabouts. What do you call paper you're about to toss? Scratch paper or scrap paper? I mean, I would say scratch paper if it was paper I was using to, like, scratch down doodles or things, but probably scrap paper most often. Raining while it's sunny out is a sun shower. The devil beating his wife? I don't really call it anything. Do we really have a word for that? I mean, sun shower makes sense. I guess I don't really have anything distinctly that I call it. That little bug that can fold into a ball. A roly-poly, a potato bug, a pill bug, or a doodle bug. We said roly-poly when we were kids. And those other bugs that light up. Fireflies or lightning bugs, I would say fireflies. Cot and cot are pronounced the same in my dialect. That is true. I know on the East Coast, some places they'll say quat. You got quat it. And finally, how would you pronounce route? I would say route. Okay, you're probably from the West. Okay, that's very broad. The West is a large region. Those bugs that light up in the summer, they're fireflies. Those small, delicious stone fruits, they're apricots. I think I said apricots, didn't I? And that thing that happens when it's sunny and raining at the same time, well, you don't really call it anything. Yep, you're probably from the West. And if you're not, well, you better move there, baby, because that's where you truly belong. Want to learn more about? No. Okay, so West, not super specific, but let's go on to the next quiz now. This is the Babbel magazine quiz. Can we guess which region you're from based on your dialect? Take our American accent quiz to see if the way you pronounce things and the words you use can help us guess which U.S. region you're from. We've often discussed the accents of people who speak other languages and even the differences between British and American English. But it's recently become even more popular for Americans to compare their own regional dialects. They might ask people from other parts of the country, how do you pronounce caramel? Or do you say soda or pop? It can be fun to examine these differences, and it gives us a sense of identity and regional pride. Using some simplified versions of these variations of the English language, we've created an American accent quiz to see if we can guess which region you're from. Guess. Based on how you pronounce certain words, or if you can even read, and which words you often use for common things. I added a word there. Simply choose the answers that most closely represent what you would say in normal conversation. If you tend to alternate, choose the one you'd say most of the time. Take the American accent quiz below. Okay. Select the answer that most closely resembles what you would say. How do you pronounce the word caramel? See, I say caramel now, but I have a weird tendency to overpronounce things sometimes. I think when I grew up, or when I was growing up, I would say caramel. I would like a caramel apple. Yeah. I'll do that. Okay, what about lawyer? Same one as last quiz. I say lawyer. I don't say lawyer. I say lawyer. Yeah. How do you pronounce pecan? I say pecan. I emphasize the last syllable. I don't say pecan. Pecan. Okay. What about pajamas? I say pajamas. What is this? Pajamas? Oh, pajamas or pajamas. Okay. I say pajamas. And egg. I say egg. Yeah, this one. Not egg. Egg. Okay. This is harder than it seems. How do you pronounce mayonnaise? Mayonnaise? I don't say mayonnaise. I say mayonnaise. It's like this. Mayonnaise. Did I say that growing up, though? Mayonnaise? I don't know. This is what I say now. What do you call a carbonated soft drink? We'll go with the pop. It's weird that in some regions of the U.S., people will just say Coke for everything. I find that very obnoxious. What do you call the thing you drink water from in school? Bubbler, drinking fountain, water fountain. It is a drinking fountain. That's the only one that's actually correct, because a water fountain could just be a fountain of water that's not meant for you to drink out of. And a bubbler, what the hell is that? How do you address a group of people? Y'all or you guys? I'd say you guys, probably. What do you call the big road cars drive fast on? I would call it the freeway. Because a highway is not the same as a freeway. A highway has traffic going both ways. And there might be stop signs. Even though it's a large, major thoroughfare with a higher speed limit, it's not the same as a freeway where there are no stop signs or stop lights, and there is like one direction of traffic separated. You can't get onto this is a freeway. All right. Next. Oh, well, that was quick. Calculating results. Oh, there you go. Pacific Northwest. Oh, it doesn't give me a little, like, background or anything? Okay, we've got a train, everybody. Let's enjoy that, but let's also enjoy the fact that apparently this quiz, the Babbel magazine quiz, was able to guess that I'm from the Pacific Northwest based upon the answers I gave. We will take a quick break and allow the train to do its thing. All right, it's still rolling by, but I think it's safe enough for us to go on to this now. Last quiz, the New York Times one. How y'all use and you guys talk. What does the way you speak say about where you're from? Answer all the questions below to see your personal dialect map. So I think this is set up as sort of a heat map from with different responses from around the country. So this should be interesting. How would you address a group of two or more people? You all, use or use, you lot, you guys, yuns, yins, you, other, y'all. I would probably say y'all tries to jump into my mouth occasionally. I think that might have something to do with the fact that I learned to speak in Oklahoma. But I would probably say you guys more often than not. What are you guys doing? Even if there were women mixed in there. Or I would say you all perhaps as well, but I think I'll go with you guys. Okay, so it looks like from the heat map we have here, this is interesting. It's most of the north and the west. And then the south is least similar to my response. What do you call the rubber-soled shoes worn in gym class for athletic activities? My God. Sneakers, shoes, gym shoes, sand shoes, jumpers, tennis shoes, running shoes, runners, trainers. I have no general word. I would normally say tennis shoes. That's what I grew up saying anyway. So that one, that's interesting. That's mostly a Midwest and Southwest kind of thing. Or South, kind of. Not as much for where I'm from. How do you pronounce the first syllable of lawyer? It rhymes with boy, lawyer. Even though that seems odd, I know, but that's how I pronounce it. Not rhymes with flaw. Okay, good. So that's definitely, this is really interesting. It's most of the country other than the South says that. What do you call the small freshwater lobster often found in lakes and streams? We grew up calling them crawdaddies or crawdads. I think that's the most typical one for me. There's crawfish, crayfish, crowfish, mudbug, or I have no word. I think crawdad is the one I would say most. Crawdaddy is typically what we would say. Oh, wow. So not many people say that in the U.S., it seems. It looks like a bit in Oregon and Northern California. And then there's a bit, I would think, that's interesting. I wonder what was most similar to the Pacific Northwest. What do you call the large wild cat native to the Americans? I would call that a cougar or a mountain lion, kind of interchangeably. There's also puma, mountain cat, panther, catamount, mountain screamer, or painter. I think when I growing up, I would say mountain lion, I think much of the time. And now I would probably say cougar more often. I'm going to say mountain lion. Ugh, look at this. I'm not getting it there. That's weird. What do you call the small road parallel to the highway? A frontage road, a service road, an access road, a feeder road, a gateway. We have them, but I have no word for them. I've never heard of this concept. Parallel to the highway. I guess, I don't know if I have a specific word for that. I mean, it makes sense to call it an access road or a service road, but I don't know that I can say that I would pick either one of those, so I'll just say no word for this. Okay? Not similar to anyone in the U.S. What do you call the night before Halloween? Gate night, trick night, mischief night, cabbage night, goosey night, devil's night, devil's eve. I have no word for this other than All Hallows Eve, right? Or other? I'll just say other. Okay. How do you pronounce the second syllable of pajamas? With the vowel in jam, with the vowel in palm. Pajamas. Okay, we're getting this region sort of. I have a feeling I'm not going to be where I think I am based on this quiz. What do you call the area of grass between the sidewalk and the road? What do I call that? Berm, parking, tree lawn, terrace, curb strip, beltway, verge. I have no word for this. I don't think I call that anything. Okay, so I'm here, like in the south and southwest. What do you call a traffic situation in which several roads meet in a circle? That is a roundabout. There's also rotary, circle, traffic, circus. I have no word for this. Okay. All right, we're sort of around there. What do you call the area of grass in the middle of some streets? I would call that a median. Yeah, so they have no word, neutral ground, island, traffic island, midway, or boulevard. I say median. Next. No. Not similar to anyone here? This is very odd. What do you call a traffic jam caused by drivers slowing down to look at an accident or other diversion on the side of the road? Rubbernecking. Rubbernecking is the activity. Oh, yeah, this is for the actual traffic jam. Okay, here's Gaper's block again. This is weird. So there's rubbernecking. Rubbernecking is the activity, but I have no word for the traffic jam itself. Gaper's block, Gaper's delay, looky-loo, curiosity delay, gawk block. I have no word for this. I would probably say looky-loo for the people looking. I'm just going to pick that. That makes the most sense to me. All right, I don't know what's going on here. Nobody says that, apparently. What do you call an easy high school or college class? Gut, crypt course, bird, blow-off, meet, or other. None of those. I wouldn't call any of those. I wouldn't use any of those to describe that. Okay. What do you call a big road on which you drive relatively fast? Okay, so we got a lot of options here. We have highway, freeway, parkway, turnpike, expressway, throughway. A freeway is bigger than a highway. This is true. A freeway is free. True. I don't know that a highway necessarily charges tolls either. Not around here. There aren't really any toll roads around here. A freeway has limited access, no stoplights, no intersections, whereas a highway... Okay, yeah, that one. A highway can have stoplights and intersections. That's the one. Again, what's going on? This is so weird that I'm not getting my region. And nobody apparently says things like I do. What would you call a sale of unwanted items on your porch, in your yard, etc.? A yard sale. There's also tag sale, garage sale, rummage sale. I mean, if it were in a garage, I would call it a garage sale. Rummage sale, thrift sale, stoop sale, carport sale, sidewalk sale, jumble sale, car boot sale. Okay, that's not the UK here, people. Patio sale. I'm going to say yard sale. Again, I'm here for some reason. How do you pronounce crayon? Oh, okay. This is a weird one because I think I've changed how I pronounce this since I was a kid. I think as a kid I said almost like crown. Yeah, but now I say crayon like that, but I don't think that's how I grew up. With one syllable rhymes with man, crayon? No. Second syllable rhymes with dawn, crayon, cron, crown. It's either this or this. I think I used to say crown as a kid, so I'm going to go with that. All right. I might have to retake this. What do you call the thing from which you might drink water in a school? Okay, it's the drinking fountain. We've established that. Okay. What do you call the small gray bug that curls up into a ball when it's touched? So they have many here. They have pill bug, which is another thing I would hear as a kid. Doodle bug, no. Potato bug, yes, occasionally. Roly-poly, see, there's a difference. There are what we called roly-polies were the shiny black version that didn't have any little frillies on the side, but things that I typically would call a woodlouse now, those are the ones that are more gray and flatter. But the pill bugs or the roly-polies were the really shiny black ones that could roll up into a perfect ball. So I'm going to go roly-poly, even though I don't know. I might be screwing myself up. All right. All right. What do you call the long sandwich that contains cold cuts, lettuce, and so on? A sub is what I would call it, a sub sandwich. There's also grinder, hoagie, hero, poor boy, bomber, Italian, sandwich, baguette, sarnie. Never heard that. It's a sub. Okay, that's most of the country. What do you call a drive-through liquor store? We don't have those. Brew-through, party barn, bootlegger, beer barn, beverage barn. I've never heard... I mean, I've heard of it, but we don't have that. But I'm going to say I've never heard of it because I think that's what I'm supposed to say. Okay. How do you pronounce the words Mary, Mary, and Mary? All three are the same, as you can see. All three are pronounced differently. Mary and Mary are pronounced the same, but Mary is different. Mary and, how would you pronounce, Mary and Mari? Mary? They're all the same. Okay, most of the country. What do you call something that is across both streets from you at an intersection or diagonally across from you in general? I'd say kitty corner. Yeah. There's also kitta corner, catter corner, catty corner, kitty cross, kitty wumpus. I would only use diagonal. I mean, I would more typically say diagonal probably, but kitty corner is the regional thing they want me to say, and that's what I would normally say, kitty corner. So that's a northern thing, it looks like. Interesting. How do you pronounce bean? Or no, I would say bit. Okay, I'm screwing myself up here. With the vowel in sit? Bin? No, I don't say that. With the vowel in C, bean. With the vowel in set, ben, said, bin, ben. How have you been? Bin. I would say bin. None of these. Bin, I guess sit. Bin, have you been? I wouldn't say bean. I wouldn't say ben. I'd say bin. I guess that's correct. All right. What do you call it when it rain falls? Well, they really like this question here, and we don't really have one. But look at this sun shower. The wolf is giving birth. The devil's beating his wife. Monkey's wedding. Fox's wedding. Pineapple rain. Liquid sun. I have no term or expression for this. Okay, we're in the west mostly, and then also up into the Great Lakes area. How do you pronounce? Okay. As a kid, I'd say ant. Like ant. Like the bug ant. I don't say aunt or aunt or anything like that. It's ant. I use when referring to the general concept of an aunt, but I use ant when I refer to a specific person. I just say ant. We'll say that. Okay, so here's my heat map. See the pattern of your dialect in the map. 3 of the most similar cities are shown. Boise, Idaho, Reno, Nevada, and Modesto, California. So the least similar is like in the bayou of Louisiana, which probably makes sense. And then kind of the heart of New York and the Northeast area there. I'm not as similar to exactly my region, which is here, Bellingham, Washington, as I am to like Northern California and then Idaho and stuff. That's interesting. So these maps show your most distinctive answer for each of these cities. What do you call the small freshwater lobster often found in lakes? So that was crawdad. Apparently that's Reno is the most popular for that. That's interesting. What do you call something? So kitty corner, this is a very distinctive answer apparently. So this puts me more north. And then a drive-through liquor store I've never heard. I mean, I've heard of one, but we don't have them around. So that's interesting. Data for the 350,000 survey responses. That's interesting. Colors, keep maps, probably around All right, well, for the most part, we've got general area, kind of. This one was only the West, which is very broad, but also, I guess, correct, but it's broadly correct. This one said specifically the Pacific Northwest, and then this one showed me kind of westy, northy, sort of. Well, there you go. I think that's pretty fun. You guys should do... yeah, see, I said you guys. You guys should all go and take this quiz as well, or some of these quizzes. I'll put links in the description box below, and let me know how you fared on the quizzes, where you're actually from, where you grew up, and then where the quizzes said that you were from based on your answers. I think it's kind of fun. And in the future, I may do one, like a British dialect one. I think that might be kind of interesting. In fact, I think there's a New York Times one like this. It has the heat map and everything. But gang, there you go. I am from Boise, Modesto, or Reno, or the Pacific Northwest, or the West. Where are you from? And until next time, until we meet again, I'm your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later. You guys. That's what I